Welcome to Shadow Empire Playthrough Part 6. If you are new to the series, please check link in the description. There is a playlist so you can go back to the previous episodes or check the Academy playlist to learn more details about Shadow Empire game. This is Stratego's Academy channel. In this series we play Shadow Empire together and I explain all mechanics and details. Also I ask questions and consider suggestions that the community is adding in comments. So let's go through the most interesting ones. One person asked why, if I have private scavenging facility, why I do not nationalize this facility to have it public? Well, the answer is because currently, as you can see, I receive 83 metal from the private one and 58 metal from the public one. So even if some metal goes to the private economy, I still am receiving much more than in the public. Why? Because if we check the details, you can see that there is modifier and tech formula, and we have nearly plus 40% increase in the production. And if we hover this text, you can see that the formula is depending on the regime private bonus. So if we go to the reports and features and bonus overview, you can see if we can find commerce bonus, I have 100% commerce bonus. It means that the private assets are much more effective. It also applies to other assets, like for example, ice mine should produce 250 water, but because of this private bonus modifier, we are producing 365. Of course, there is some bonus, 16% from the governor, but still private economy is doing quite well if we are going into the commerce profile. Thank you for this question. Another person suggested that I should save the industrial points and metal until I will better know my current situation. Because as you know, we don't have any metal mines and we have only those two ruins. So the suggestion from this person is that we could use spies to better recognize the neighborhood and we could hunt for some abandoned ruins. Of course, I could send more spies and they could discover some ruins and then we could have better situation. For example, here I see one hex containing ruins, so we can check that not only ruins but probably some ancient derelict gun. So this is example how spies can find such spots and then we can try to reach them and have metal from the scavenging. Another suggestion how to have metal in such situation like ours is to rush into the tech tree to the technology that can extract metal from the soil. So you can see this is metal soil filtration technology. And thanks to this technology, I would be able to construct soil demetallization factory, which would produce the metal from the heavy metals that are part of the soil. So if we go to our planetary statistics, so in the help section, you can see that we have heavy metals 67%. This is quite low value, but still we have some heavy metals in the soil, so we would produce less metal from the metallization factory, but still that would be our hope to have metal if we will not be able to find any metal deposits. So thank you for this suggestion. There was one comment about the logistics, that we could rebuild a bit the roads, but I will try to optimize logistics later if we will have bigger armies and bigger logistical problems. Currently, the transport hub is doing quite well, but we of course are already at the edge of its possibilities. But the benefit of the transport hub is that it does not consume oil, so it's quite cheap variant of the logistics, but sadly 400 logistical points is not enough, and especially that we are starting a war on the southwest, it might be problematic for our armies. So we need to think about logistics soon. Thank you for the comment. Another person suggested that we could build industry but reduce the construction speed to have some flexibility, industrial points and metal to support our armies or maybe build more units because as someone noticed, we are not able to cover our borders. There are big gaps between the units. So for sure, we need another OHQ with infantry, but there is too many things we would like to build and not enough industrial points. So we need to sacrifice something. Currently, I don't see here any enemies. Here are mountains. so I don't expect any problems from this side. And here we have war, so I would rather focus on the war economy. And as another person suggested, the decision between focusing on the economy and building the units depending on how safe I feel currently in my gameplay. So I feel quite safe because there is no dramatic situation. This was quite disappointing, the situation with the robot, but probably our units can hold them a bit. But I really need some offensive unit now, because starting with industry or recycling facility will take many rounds to finish. And if I will build tanks now, then the tanks can operate, and in the meantime we can spend the rest of the time for industry. So as someone suggested, we should build a tank to avenge this battle that happened here. And the tank design will be Avenger. So let's remember that. Thank you for your questions. If new questions will appear during the recording, I will try to cover them. So let's start doing some actions. So my decision is to rise a tank formation. I was thinking about all possibilities, and I think that will be the most balanced one because we have war and the tank can be really helpful to extend our borders, and after building the tank we can still continue our constructions. So let's rise the formation, and you can see those are 3 subunits of light tanks, but the name is Crusader, and we need to change the name of this design. So we can click the subunit, and here there's a button to change the model name, and we change it to Avenger. So we have 30 Avengers. Thank you for this suggestion. And now you can see the offensive power, especially for soft target, is quite high compared to our infantry. But sadly, the design of the engine was really bad, so we have plus 30% action point cost. This is something we should change fast. And let's check the design once again. So if you go to models and light armor, you can see that our engine design was 62. This is really bad. That's why we have currently increased cost of action points. But we don't have big distances here to reach our enemies, so I hope the tanks will be able to reach the front line soon. And now very important element. If we have war with some minor or major regime, we need to really increase the recon, because currently we have 8 regime recon points. Those are not the same that hex recon points, but those are regime recon points. And the more of those points we have, the more we will know about their territory, even about their units that are somewhere there. So we need to send a spy to our enemy. So click the stratagem button and cover ops and send a spy. By the way, we are still risking the failure, but we'll see.
Roger that.
It was success, so great. So now we have 2 spies, and we will try to have more and more recon. This is important during the war. Also, in the reports regimes tab, we should find our enemy. So those guys are Vosolis territory. They are the first one, and we don't know too much about them. So we need to change the situation. So let's go, before we will click and round, to our leaders and check relation. This is not a relation point, but check the normal relation if someone is risky. And as we can see, our Aina, that should be foreign council in future, maybe, she is very unhappy because what happened? We have fired her, she don't have a job, she is capable leader, but without a job, very unhappy. The relation is 16. This is very risky, especially that the loyalty is decreased below 50. So some negative events can occur, as you can see in the description. For example, she may create a kind of rebellion and rise some units and leave our regime and fight with us. So this is very risky, and we need to do something with her. Also, if we are here, we can check in the personality section the corruption and theft. So if someone steal our money, and you can see that if we sort by this column, there is only one person who dared to steal our regime money, and it was our director of Supreme Command Council. Very bad, very bad. And he is quite corrupted, but not as much as others. Those guys from the faction that we don't like. And then our eye knight. So they are more risky in case of stealing the money, but currently the only problematic guy is this but 40 credits is not dramatic. But we need to check that theft from time to time, because sometimes you might be really surprised how much money the guys can steal from your budget. And then to get the money back, you need to have a really good Secret Service council. Okay, so to change situation with her, we need to give her a job, and she was good at improvisation, 63. So she could maybe be a model design, because currently we have discovered the basic types. We don't have any special needs currently here. So maybe if we check in our cabinet, our current model design, he is the best in science. So maybe he could be our military research director and increase the speed of the research, because the current military research council is not very fast, I would say. So we have, 30 in science and 45 in inventor. But this guy could really improve the speed of military technologies, and he don't have the improvisation. So maybe we can call him, relief, and propose other job. Okay. Also, we can do the same with Military Research Council. So relief and propose other job. And next round, we will nominate her for model design and him for the Military Research Council. Maybe I could even switch the Economic Council with the current Military Research Council. I could even call and relieve him. This guy will have no job. We are doing some cleanups in our cabinet because they were not working well. We could also check our advisor, because as we remember, he also has improvisation, but in his case, I cannot dismiss him so easily because he is a militia chief. If I will dismiss this guy, then here I will lose a lot of militia profile, because militia doesn't like to be without a chief. So if you really care of militia profile, you need to watch out and check if the leader who you are going to dismiss has this feature. And to somehow improve morale of our leaders in reserve pool, I will call the secretary and change salaries for current reserve pool members. So I will increase it to 2 credits per round, even 3, but this is temporary. I hope that the relation will increase and somehow it will delay the potential rebellion. So let's do it. You can see that the relation increased, but our Aina only by 4 points. Let's hope she will not rebel. Okay, so now we can play next round. Some movements. Oh, I have noticed something interesting. So you can see we had quality of life score at 6 points and the promise was 7 points. Guys, but we failed to deliver on a promise, so our word score will decrease. We have interesting card, Crackdown on Unrest, another gift, but this time we will really double check before playing it. We have low ammunition stored in the SHQ. Our commander is afraid. You have started war and we have low ammunition. You are right, this is risky. So let's check how far our tanks can go. They have some range, so not as bad as I expected. Where they should go? Probably close to the front line. But before doing any actions, please remember we need to double check the situation. And here, what is that? They are hiding everywhere in the ice caves, so we need to watch out for random units appearing. Okay, I think we can move a bit our militia. What they are missing? They are missing replacements, ammo, but should survive. We need to expand a bit. They are sitting on the android's cave, so we will go and protect this front line. And this unit need to go here. And we need to close this gap. So let's move here for a moment. Now we can go this way and have some recon. And this unit, maybe we should send tanks to help with those nomads first to do the revenge. I will need the stronger militia unit here, where we have fightings. And this unit probably need to be here to check what is going on and block them. And our tanks, first of all, we need to assign tanks to the proper headquarter unit administration, change headquarter, and now we will assign from the SHQ to the 1st Light Infantry Brigade. So this way we have a commander, and the commander skills will help during any battle both with the SHQ commander skills. So they both will now help during the battle, but such action also decreased a bit our readiness. So better to not do it right before the fight. You know what? I will send the tanks here to push those guys. And here you can see we are at the edge of our supply lines, so we would not be able to explore too much. So we will go into full defensive mode here and hope that they will attack us and maybe lose some soldiers instead of attacking them. Because in defense we have better stats, 56 compared to 27. The hit points are quite okay for this rifle militia. So let's move our tanks here. Finally the sound of tanks, even with bad engine. Okay, so before any fightings, maybe let's go to the decisions and check what we have. We need to nominate Mobilization Council, Military Research Council, and Economic Council. So as you remember, our military should be Alastair. So let's do it, because he is great scientist.
Copy that.
Relation improved a bit. Now, model design, she didn't rebel, so very good. Let's do it.
Order acknowledged.
Relation improved by 77. And for Economic Council, we will select our previous Military Research Council because he is quite okay and he is cap free. So let's do it.
Copy that.
Okay. Now we have a bit better cabinet, so we have a better match between jobs and their skills. And also such operation improved their morale. So you know, sitting one round was motivating for them. The only problematic guy is this one. Can we do something with him? Relation is improving. Let's check how the organizations are doing. Model design, covering, military research, working on the padded and virus suit. But you can see the one round that we had no director resulted in bonus minus 50%. That's why any even ugly leader is better than no leader. But next round you will see what this guy can do. So we had to survive one round with very limited progress here, but it was worth it in my opinion. So we'll see. Sadly, this guy is not helping too much. We need to do something. And regarding our major decisions, I would like to construct industry. So last round we did 70% of tank battalion. Now we construct industry because we need to have industry. And where is it? Here. But we cannot afford the full speed of the construction. So we don't have 150 industrial points. So probably I will go with 50% of the construction speed to have also some industrial points left next round. So this is very important construction. Without the additional industrial points in future, we would have really a bottleneck. So let's check in the stats if we can sell something. So let's go to regime capital price indexes. Are there any good prices anywhere? I think only metal is high. Oil is quite stable after our sellings. Bit increase on high tech. High tech will be needed probably in future, so we need to wait for maybe good price. Only rare metals probably something we can try to sell because we don't need it currently. Maybe in future, but we need also money. Let's check how much our reputation was damaged. You can see 15 points. We were near leader, but civilization level is growing. Let's check why. We have health points, security points. The governor was doing quite well, that's why it increased. And they are still not building anything. What is going on? Very strange. Something wrong is going here. What they are waiting for? In my other game, they already was building some quality of life assets. And here, they stuck with this ice mine. Or maybe they want to upgrade the current one, this one. Then it will be probably over 1000 or 1500. We'll see what they are planning for. Traders have more credits, So we should sell as much as we can currently to have money. And we have 500 credits. Maybe we should play our lovely improvised industrial points card. But let's check this card. This card is a gift from a faction that likes autocracy, and I like this card very much because of the cost of 5 political points. We can decrease the unrest in a zone by a roll of 3 10-side dices. So you can see that this is a really good autocratic regime card because there are no cons, only pros. Okay, maybe we can play this card, but I don't know why now it's 50 political points instead of 30 something like it was before. Maybe I need to wait one round. Maybe it's because we are changing the economic council. I would wait one round. Maybe this will be cheaper next round. Because this card should be cheaper. We can go to the reports, help, stratagem, encyclopedia, economic council. You can see this improvised card should cost 25 political points. So now it's expensive. Probably it's a result of the last round no leader situation. The encyclopedia is quite nice to check what's the real cost of cards and some quick description. So maybe we should nationalize now the transport hub because it's also cost 500 credits. But then next round we will not have money for the other card. This is interesting, but let's check how our logistical lines are doing. So we click the bottlenecks and we can see that if we don't have other demands than food, they are somehow doing okay with some bottlenecks. So you can see here is 1%. It means that the initial points are 99 and the used points are 98. So only one current logistical point is left. That's why the bottleneck is showing here that we have only 1% of the initial logistical points if we subtract the used logistical points. Probably we need to do the nationalization of this because it will be a problem during the fightings soon. But you know what? Let's wait to the next round because I have some idea. Maybe we don't need to waste 500 credits on nationalizing the transport hub because there is some trick that we could do if we would have more industrial points. So after we will play the card next round, maybe depending on the amount of industrial points, we can have better context and then do some trick with transport hub. Let's wait to the next round with this decision. So we can turn off this layer. And what we can do here, with such problems with logistics, we need to really carefully approach our enemies, but those guys can enter our territory, so I need to keep blocking them. But our regular units can try to surround those guys and push them back a bit. We will see what they will do. This is quite weak unit, so I will keep them here because currently on this yellow field we cannot receive full replacements. Maybe if I will move back to the green one and check if I can have any replacements, but you can see we have only one logistical point available. It's because for manual replacements we are using the current logistical points. So from the closest place they can only see one logistical point on the road. So we could move maybe here where we have our tanks, and now maybe they will be able to pick up replacements from here. We can check. So let's try to do the manual replacement action. You can see now they have 97 logistical points because they are able to reach this hex using their operational logistics. So now we can do the small operation. So we have 300 from 1000. Of course, we will not be able to replenish the losses completely, but maybe 2 subunits would be great. We need to save the points produce. So this way you can do the manual, very detailed replacements because if I would use the normal one from SHQ level, Then the SHQ decide to which unit the replacements will go, and usually to the closest that have the highest amount of logistical points available. And here I could do a kind of micro manage of that unit. So good to know. This unit can help here. Maybe even we can go here. Why not? We are not afraid. So if we have here some units, maybe we should move the regular units here and those guys here, and maybe I can move back a bit to let them have better supplies. And here they are escaping, so we need to take more land for us if we can, if they are allowing such operations. So why not? Okay, so we will stay here. Let's check this part. We need to be really careful, and they already moved. So we cannot do much. Here we need to block them. Nothing more we can do. And here also we can only block them. So this is a kind of passive-aggressive approach. So we are pushing, but we are not attacking. This is problematic. 40 ammo. Where the ammo went? Probably to militia who were fighting with the nomads on north. In the stats, we can also check the logistic statistics and unit admin supply. And here you can see that 110 ammo was requested and 74 we delivered last round. So you can see that there are some problems with ammo delivery. And here you can see militia is asking, and also some of our battalions. Oh, look at these guys. They have very nice, if we click go to unit, they have very nice name. First Binary Cave Adventurer Party. I like this name. So we have ammo problems. Can we produce some ammo? Probably this will be problematic. We spent 15 metal and industrial points for ammunition. Sadly. So our industry is working. Let's check our assets. In preview next round, do we have any problems? We will have with, of course, industrial points. We will be not able to get all industrial points. Maybe we should decrease to 25% for one round, because I don't want to spend all industrial points. Next round we will be able to have 30 in the SHQ. Okay, let's do it. Better to have some industrial points to spare than to have zero, because you never know what will happen. Let's check also urgent issues. So only 10 credits negative cash flow, so not bad. Yeah, this is probably mainly the militia problems with supply. Do we have any demands? No demands. In general, if you have autocracy, you have only one demand from the fractions. I think in meritocracy you have two, and in democracy you have three maximum amount of demands. So, there are pros and cons. I like to have less demands because, less demands, less risk. I like to focus on one demand at the time. And the prospecting, we are still prospecting, so we see if they will find something. And factions. Our faction is quite happy. You can see 97 happiness. Everyone who is member of this faction is happy because the faction happiness also increase their happiness. And here 82, so it's fine. And those guys, we don't like them, so they can have bad happiness. But we are the majority currently, so it means there is much higher chance that we receive demands from our own faction, which means that we have better chance to increase their happiness also. So good. And how our spies were doing? Did they discover anything? I don't see any changes. Here we can see there is 10,000 free folks, but we don't see much more. And let's check our zone. You can see that the unrest already disappeared. We have only the danger, because danger is decreasing very, very slow. Can we play any stratagems? We could try to. No, everything costs money and we need money. And on nation level, Mission Impossible could be nice because you can get fate points playing this card, but currently we don't have many interesting green cards, and our interior council need to have better leadership to play it without a bigger risk. So yeah, nothing more this round probably. Let's play. Some movements, but no attacks currently. Oh, nomads attacking, nothing happened. Oh, we both lost 100, and there is some kind of breach. We have research university, so our economic council. Oh, investor card. And finally a junior, that can be helpful. So let's check what happened here. Guys, what are you doing? You had only one task, protect the north part. And also those guys are trying to cross our militia. The militia is not doing well. Maybe that was wrong decision to send tanks here. But don't worry, we need to deal with them somehow. Maybe we should send the tank north. Maybe let's try to play the stratagem. You can see now the cost is 31. After last round it was 50. So it's because now we had a leader. Of course, it could be 25 if this leader would have 100 relation, but maybe let's do it. So this card, we need to have 500 credits to play it, but the real amount of credits that we will spend depend on the roll. So there is one dice roll, and based on that dice and our commerce profile, the game will calculate the amount of industrial points that we can get. So let's do this exercise. Sadly, he's 76, but I think his relation is not important in this role. Only it influences the cost. So, okay, let's hope we'll have a lot of industrial points. Play this card.
Copy that.
Wow, do you see it? We have produced 567 industrial points delivered to Flint inventory. So you can see we managed to mobilize our artisans and pay them to produce the industrial points. That's why this card is so powerful. It changed the situation completely now. Guys, what this card is doing, this card is also very good. We can attract up to 3,000 credits to the private economy. And why not to do it? We can do it. They are still thinking what to do. So maybe we can help them. Also, I will play this card.
Roger that.
They receive 2,100 credits in the private economy. So now you can see they have 3,200. I don't know what they are planning, but now they should really do what they want. You have money, stop thinking, start doing. Okay, but please notice that the industrial points are not in our SHQ because the industrial points are in the zone inventory. So the industrial points are stored here. So the zone is trying to store as much as they need, and if we have more than we need, and the surplus is sent to the SHQ. So next round we can expect nearly 600. So you know what? We can go to manage assets and preview next round. Can we increase the speed of industry to 50%? We can, because no yellow numbers here. To 75%. You can see that they are using the industrial points not from SHQ. They are using the industrial points available in the zone inventory. That's why I can increase even to 100% the production speed of our industry, because the SHQ is only to help the zone to build stuff if the zone is missing some items. So if the zone in the inventory has enough resources, then the zone don't need to even ask for an SHQ delivery. So we can increase to 100 production speed for our industry. Very good. And it means that we can spend those 60, maybe we should have another machine guns protecting our city or wait for the tanks. So we have no other option than simply going here and blocking them. Those guys need to help. Here also no big options, and those guys check if anything is here, and probably they need to stay and control the situation. In the north is not good, but let's wait. Next round we build maybe tanks and deal with those guys. Here what we can do? We can move here and maybe take those 2 hexes and go back. Do we have food? We have food, so maybe you can even take another 3 hexes here, because we need to extend the borders. Those guys had problem with ammunition delivery because, yeah, they are in the red area, so only food is delivered. Those guys can go and grab some land. Why not? And those, we can move them here and ask for 1 unit of machine guns. So there we have 4. And here you can see we are on the yellow edge of our supply. So we need to be careful here. Surrounding them will not help too much because they are mercenaries, so they are kind of nomad traders. They don't have their own capital because it's territory. So surrounding them will not help because they are so smart that they can even pass our blockades and have full supply. Because this is how territories are working. They have some kind of militia that you cannot block the supplies. So I will not move. I will stay where I am because I need to regenerate the readiness. Also, tanks could have better readiness. So let's move tanks here, but we'll not attack. We'll do not stupid movements. Militia maybe can move here, and those guys can move here. And we are doing the blockade. We cannot rush an attack with low readiness. Okay, do you remember what I told about the transport hub? It will be quite risky because we don't have money. So first we need to have more money. So go to stats, check the prices, and I think the metal is growing, high tech, oil a bit lower price, but we need oil as a fuel for the tanks. So we need to sell once again rare metals, maybe 24. So we have a bit more money, and now we'll do some trick. So we don't have money, we don't have many resources to sell to have 500 credits to nationalize private transport hub, but we can disband the private transport hub for 2 political power. Let's do it. By disbanding, we have moved 167 credits to the private economy. Now we don't have any logistical asset in the city. So now we can go to construct, logistics, and we can build public truck station for 100 metal and 120 industrial points that we have. So let's do it. This asset will be constructed next round without any interruptions. And this way we could save 500 credits. Check decisions. Policy speech. Democracy, we don't want democracy. Feast, we don't want feast. Mind. We could go mind because we would like to have from the mind profile this technology fascination. So let's go for mind. But this policy speech is also about short-term priorities. So this will be a kind of demand. Our government demands that we reach the promise. So we need to extend our territory by another 113 hexes more by the end of round 38, and we have around 25, so 13 rounds. It might be difficult to achieve. Okay, so from those I can probably only be able to achieve C, so to increase the percent of soldiers from 16 to 18% by round 40. So I will do it only not because of the profile, but to simply get the plus 10% of ward score. And we need to build soldiers anyway. And this militia unit, should they help here or they should go and help here? I need them here because they have the recon, and currently I don't have too many recon units. And the recon will be needed if we plan to attack our enemies. Please look this guys. There is tribal healer. What he is holding? Never mind. But those guys are 35 defense, though not much compared to nomads, because nomads, we don't see nomads, are much stronger. So now we can finally play next round and we'll see if anything bad or good will happen. Some movements, no fighting. And in general, nothing bad happened. We have finally research our padded enviro suite, which is very good because now we can design new infantry models equipped with better guns and better armor. It's too expensive card to be useful currently. Yeah, we made a promise. So our track station has been finished. Industry is doing well. Please notice that now our zone kept 150 industrial points in the stock because they need those points to build assets. But those 150 is because our industry requires exactly 150 next round. So the zone tries to secure that amount, and the rest has been sent to the SHQ. So that's why we have exactly that increase here. So maybe if we have new technologies, let's start and design new model for our soldiers. It will be a third model, but equipped with better armor and weapon. So first prepare a blueprint. Here, if we filter infantry, you can see our previous one. So create a new one. And you can see we have more technologies to choose from. So automatic rifle and padded enviro suit. Thanks to the weapon, we have better firepower. So this first number will increase from 75 to 100, and also it affects the soft attack and soft defense. So you can see from 66 to 86, and enviro suit modifies hit points. So from 100 to 150. So we are 50% harder to kill currently, and also the icon is changing. We can rename the blueprints or we can keep them with the number, but we can use a name like Rifle Infantry. And now, if we go to the Model Design Council, we can do it from the organizations or from the cabinet. Please notice that the relation bonus was 50%, so very good. We can call her, and here there is option to design a new model.
Order acknowledged.
So we select infantry because we want to design infantry, and you can see the cost of the third iteration is 120 bureaucratic points. Before it was 60, so it doubles. So the next one will be equal to the cost of the completely new design. And then we can decide if you want better structural design or not. But currently we are doing the iteration, so the second option, and we select our blueprint we build on top of the Soldiers 2 model.
Order acknowledged.
Let's do it. So before any decisions, check the tech tree. So we have three green technologies. It means they are research. And if we research another one, then we'll open those two groups. And this is quite important decision because if I open those groups, then it will be more difficult to roll any of those economic technologies. That would be a bigger set of technologies that the Economic Council can research. So if, for example, you are hunting for solar energy and you open those two, it will be another 6 technologies to choose from for the game. So now we need to be careful, and I don't need to research probably high-speed machine gun and high velocity, but I also don't have any specific preferences here. Currently, we don't have energy problems. Ammunition factory will be nice. Without that, it will be difficult to do any longer fightings. So ammunitions would be great to have. So maybe let's focus on discovery. So it means that we need to go back to the decisions and select no target. So he will be focusing on discovery. Model design can even increase the focus on the research, 99%, because currently we don't have many bureaucratic points to worry about crossing the 100 limit.
Order
Because you know
acknowledged.
that if you cross, for example, here you can see that our model design currently can spend 39 bureaucratic points. But if you have any task in this table above 100, then the game will make less effective any points above 100. So there is always some inefficiency. Up to 100, your councils have very effective tasks, and after 100 bureaucratic points per task, the task is not utilizing effectively all points, and some points might be lost. But sometimes, if you are really pushing for something, there is no other choice. So let's check the decisions. National budget. Still, I will decrease a bit Supreme Command by 2 points. we can keep as it is. So we mainly moved 2 points to the Economic Council.
Affirmative.
And there is some event. We have been received a radio contact from Hex 95-3. A private expedition by some of our people has established control over this special hex. They are requesting that we'll help to hold on to it. Do we make a public commitment? So let's find this hex 95-3. So maybe let's zoom out. Oh, here. So they are here. Can we hold this hex? Maybe we can. Let's move this unit first. What's that? This is Android's cave. Another Android's cave. So we'll have two Android caves. One is here somewhere and one is here. But I think we should be able to make it. But this we need to really hurry up to go to this red area where we have food for them. So yeah, I can make this commitment. People will be happy, heart will increase.
Roger that.
And now ammo will be problematic. Let's do some obvious movements. Oh, here are enemies, but we need to move back anyway. Here we need to protect our borders. Here, hard to say, but those guys, do they have better zone of control currently? Yes, you can see. Now they can grab the land for us after the replacement. So maybe we should continue this approach and have more and more land. Here they moved back. We need to have this hex. This is Free Folk Town, 10,000 people waiting to join our empire. So militia will go south to check the situation. And those guys can go here. Enemies. And please notice that the tanks have some problem with receiving full amount of... Okay, they are waiting for the another 2 subunits of tanks and they would like to have more fuel. Why they didn't get fuel? So you can see here those 3 messages. They are quite important to investigate what is happening with the supply for this particular unit. So for example, they had a pickup issue. It means that from the hex 7710 on a road, they could only get 12% of the logistical points. So the hex, so this hex is here. This is 7710. If we enable the bottlenecks, you can see that there were some problems. Here is a bottleneck, and we are in the meantime of switching to the public transport hub. So there are some disruptions, and this information is for last round. So probably that's why they couldn't get the supply. But also there was no logistical points available, and SHQ limit. It means that we had no tanks waiting in SHQ for replacements. So indeed, there are no tanks, or there were not enough logistical points assigned for the task SHQ2 unit. But we have here, even if we are crossing the maximum number, 160, it's fine as long as the sum is not higher than the points generated by our logistical assets. 400 could be used. So this is not a problem. Problem is that simply we don't have tanks here. So next round, I think it should improve, but it's worth to check those 3 if you would like to inspect any problems with logistics, and remember that this is for the last round. So for sure I will not attack because 88 readiness, we need to have more. Oh, they have 100 readiness, so it's good. So let's move a bit, but I will move this stronger unit here, and this unit will maybe go here and take some land for us and move back to protect this area because we don't know what they will do. Maybe we can even block them and move here because it's risky to have this unit behind our front line, so we don't want surprises. And militia, we need them here to have better recon. You can see how the number decreased. So it was 12, now it's 11 because we have better recon. We have 89 recon. Of course, 400 would be better, but still, The better the recon, the more true the information about enemies, and the more we can rely on the odds that the screen is showing. Based on that number, we cannot really rely on this, what I can see here. So let's keep pushing. Here, I remember there was a unit. I need to check in history if they moved anywhere. Maybe this is that unit. They moved east. Okay, so I expect that here there are no enemy units. We can check. Maybe here. We need to be sure. Okay, no enemy units and we have more land. So currently we need to keep blocking them. This militia, how to block them properly, because also this unit is risky. So maybe let's move here. Quite strong unit. That will be problematic. So we need to move back and block enemies, and I wonder what they will do. We are missing here 1 or 2 units to hold to protect our borders, which is not good. So we need to think maybe of another military unit then. So maybe we should build another unit, maybe another tank unit, but I don't want to spend so many industrial points because we are building industry, but maybe some machine guns, 2 units of machine guns to protect the border. Let me know in the comments what are your suggestions. I plan to upload longer episodes because usually in such let's plays, the more episodes, the more loyal watchers stay, and simply no sense to upload many shorter episodes, but the episodes will be longer and longer each new upload. Thank you for watching, and please share any suggestions, questions in the comments section. See you later.